This is the ZV-1 Mark I. I was not sent the ZV-2 camera for review or asked to do a video, of course, but today's word is disappointed. Let's get into it. Guys, welcome back to Scott's Reviews. Please like, subscribe down below, and today we're talking about the ZV-1 Mark II announcement that came out today, May 23rd. So, as typical fashion, once it's released at a certain time, all the big YouTubers that were sent the cameras for review post their videos out there. And I watched probably about 60% of them, at least the ones I was subscribed to. About 60% I watched, and just to kind of get a feel of excitement, and I didn't really get that much from any of them. They were kind of matter-of-fact videos. It's kind of like stating the stats, put it out there, saying what this was and what that was, what's changed, what hasn't changed, that kind of thing. And that was it. It was kind of a, Tell me in the comments below if you watch a bunch of these videos today, what you thought about the videos that were put out today from the big YouTubers. Did you feel that excitement and like you must go buy it kind of feel? Or was it kind of like a matter of fact, just here are the cameras, these are the stats, this is what's different about it, on to the next video? And that's what I kind of got a feel for. I was going through my checklist for my last video I had, and I kind of went through, and I'll try to put this on the screen. Just the check marks of what happened and what I predicted and what didn't happen. And there's a lot more red on here than it is green. Let's go negative first and then we'll go positive at the end. Do a little bit different. So we didn't get bigger sensor, we didn't get 4K 60, we didn't get the A1 chip. I was pretty close with the prediction of this. I said 16 to 50, it was 18 to 50, so I'll take a little bit of credit there, not much. So we did keep the ND filter, which is good. I wish they would allow us to add a screw-on ND filter if we want to add to that. That one didn't happen. I called it the baby ZV-1, not so much. Nothing with the battery was improved. What we did check off was the USB-C, touchscreen, same as the ZV-1F, the menu system, the microphone from the ZV-1. Instead of the full word SAD stabilization, it's going to be just SA. So standard active, no dynamic, a little disappointing. We did get the LUTs that are in the ZV-1F, like the FL LUT, all that kind of thing, are in this one also. Some good things that didn't happen. We didn't get the 24-70 lens like we did before. We didn't lose the ND filter. We did lose the high frame rate. And we did lose the hot shoe. So I think the image-wise for 24 frames per second for still images is the same. So it should motor pretty good if you're taking still photos. And we'll talk about price here in a second. All right, so am I disappointed? Yeah, I'm a little disappointed. Really thought it had the 4K 60, and I thought it would hopefully have that dynamic stabilization. Those are the two biggest things I'm kind of disappointed in, is the dynamic stabilization's not there, and the 4K 60 is not there. And if you're coming from the ZV-1, I think you'll be more critical than anything else, because you already have this. There's some things on here you really like and you're going to be losing. And so it's really hard to convince someone that had one of these to upgrade. There's a couple things that you would do it for, but things you do lose is a high frame rate feature. Going to almost 1,000 frames per second. Now the image was bad, but it was fun to use. But you do lose out on the 240 frames per second, the 480, and the 960 frames per second. So that's kind of gone. And that ability to set your aperture, set everything up, wait and wait and wait, and then when that action happens, hit the button and it records like a 2 or 3 second video versus filming the entire time, waiting, and having all that stored on your memory card. This is a nice way to free up your memory card, so that feature's kind of gone. So if that's something you like, stick with the ZV-1. Getting the wider lens was a must, and I really am happy for that to happen. Losing out on the 2.8 on the telephoto end is kind of disappointing, going to 4.0. So low light environment, will not be as good with this camera. If the sensor was bigger, that would help, but it's not. So the ZV-1 Mark II is going to have a little more problem in lower light in that telephoto range. A lot of folks said, well, we lost the 70 reach, but we have clear image zoom. Well, that's a kind of a strange argument when I have the same thing in the ZV-1. I had clear image zoom after 70 and go 2 times 70, so I'm losing even more, right? So you can't argue saying, well, you got clear image zoom. Well, you do it on this camera too. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but this is kind of my thoughts as I'm processing whether to purchase the camera, because I said I would, and I said I would do comparisons with this one. I still am. I think tomorrow has the pre-order. You can start ordering tomorrow, and then in mid-June, I heard that's when they'll be released. So, but if you're new to the camera market and you're going to look at a different camera, someone not having this camera before would be happy with the camera they get out of the ZV Mark II with the wide angle lens, all that kind of, all the goodness of it, the touchscreen in the back, stuff that needed to be changed, and it was. I think a lot of us were wishing for more. We're wishing for more of what's in the bigger cameras put into a small package that we could take with us on the go. That dynamic stabilization that more be gimbal-like when you film. I think that's really important for a camera this size, especially today when your phone can have active stabilization on your iPhone and get great gimbal-like footage. Your GoPro does that kind of thing. So that's, I think, really important that this camera should have had it in here when it comes to that. Again, you're competing against the cell phone market that everything's right there built in for them. And then I think next year, the iPhone 15 is going to have a telephoto part. So now we're really creeping into what these cameras can do. And they're going to have a tough time selling these things, I think, to the younger generation, because they have to go from using their phone, editing on their phone, posting right there from their phone, everything in one shot, to filming, either pulling the SD card out, put into a computer. How does that work? An SD card? What does that mean? Or plugging it in, using their app on Sony and pulling it off that way, putting it on your phone and then using it. It's a lot of steps for them to get better footage. Yeah, it's better, but how much better is it? So it's a tough market, and then I'm surprised Sony came out and not only did it not give us like everything we wanted, but they're asking a lot for it. $750 was the price of the ZV-1. Now they want $900 for this guy with some less features. So another thing we're going to lose out is lens stabilization within the ZV-1 Mark II. This one has it. It's not that great, but it helps out a little bit. And I saw Gerald Undun's video where he immediately talks about how you'll get the jitters. So remember the jitters in the ZV-1F where you move it and it just kind of jitters and there's jitters in the background? Well, I don't think it's as bad as that camera, but it's there. It's there because the lens doesn't have any stabilization at all. So the software is doing all the work behind the scenes. And I guess you have to increase your shutter rate to help out with that process. It's just, they really should have added dynamic stab into the ZV-1 Mark II. That's a couple of biggest downers is the stabilization is not there and the 4K 60 is not there. Those are my two biggest disappointments for this camera, and the price would be my third. That you shouldn't jump up that high. I mean, right? You can pick up a ZV-E10 and a lens almost for the same price. So what's better? ZV-E10 or ZV-1 Mark II with 11mm lens, something like that. Yeah, this is bigger size-wise. Again, I call it like small bag camera size, and this is like a pocket size. But that's what you got to choose from. So there's a lot more to come. I know I've rambled a little bit on this one, but I wanted to get my thoughts out there of disappointment and to kind of see where you guys are. After watching all the videos, what you expected. We always expect more, but we get a little bit less. Are we still happy with that? I mean, like I said, the positives at the end, the touchscreen, the menu system, and USB-C are huge benefits to have on this camera. That's my main reason that I would still get it. If I'm going to keep the ZV-1 as my in the bag, always there camera, is it worth me upgrading just to get the better touchscreen, the better menu system, the swiping ability, and USB-C, and then the wider lens? I'm still leaning on the yes side of things on that all those things I will enjoy. And it's kind of like fixing this camera just enough to make it a little bit better. And that's what they did. Just enough to make it a little bit better, to get closer to the times that we are now. Is it the camera of cameras? No. It's not the perfect camera. I don't think it can compete with the cell phones. I think older folks like us that still like point and shoots will like it, but the younger generation is still not going to jump on board, I don't think, for this camera. They'll be happy with their phones, and they should be because the phones are getting really good. All right, so the videos that will come later down the road when I finally get the camera in. Of course, we'll do like an unboxing real quick, going over the quick features, the stabilization, what I want to key on, and then we'll do some comparisons with these two together. So we'll mount them up, we'll do some walking stabilization between these two, we'll test the lenses, that kind of thing, to get a feel for what's really different, what's really worth it. Later in July, I'll be going back to Disney. My daughter's performing in a dance thing down Main Street, so I'll be filming that, taking photos for that. I definitely will bring the ZV-1 Mark II on that trip, see it all pans out. I think I'm going to like it at the end because I really like the ZV-1F, the user form ability with the ZV-1F. I just hated the results of the ZV-1F. They were not good. But I did love holding the camera, using the camera, and just working with the camera. I did enjoy that a lot. Down below, let me know what you thought about all the videos that were out, what you expected. Are you buying it? Are you not buying it? There's no way. A lot of folks write in and say, nope, keep my ZV-1 forever. And that's great. That's what it's there for, right? Use it till it dies. But some folks are kind of like, always like, but what's over there? And that's me. Always want to see what's next. And it hurts my pocketbook, but okay, whatever. Ta-ta for now.